Thank you. Next is Presidential Management Staff, Maria Zenaida Angping and family. Thank you very much. Next is Solicitor General Menardo Guevara and family. Thank you. Next is Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Ople and family. Thank you. Next is the Special Assistant to the President, Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo and family. Thank you very much. Next is Bangko Sentral Governor Felipe Medalla and family. Thank you very much. Next is Civil Service Commissioner Carlo Alexi Nograles. Thank you. Next is Manila Economic and Cultural Office Chairman Silvestre Bello III. Thank you. Next is Bureau of Internal Revenue Commissioner Lilia Guillermo. Thank you. Next is National Intelligence Coordinating Agency Director General Ricardo F. De Leon and family. Thank you very much. Next is Philippine Ports Authority General Manager Christopher Pastrana. Thank you very much. Next is Senior Deputy Executive Secretary Charito Zamora. Thank you. Next is the Deputy Executive Secretary for Legal Affairs, Richard Palpalato. Thank you very much. Next is the Deputy Executive Secretary for Finance Administration, Roland Tan. Thank you. Last but not the least is the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Chairperson, Attorney Cheloy Garafil. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. That concludes our oath-taking ceremony. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. We may now be seated. Today, the President shall lead the oath-taking ceremony of Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative Ferdinand Alexander Marcos and the newly elected officials of Ilocos Sur and Ilocos Norte.
Where is she?
May we invite the members of the first family to join the President and Rep. Marcos to witness the oath-taking.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kagagawang ko ito. This was my doing because I insisted that this is a very important chance for me. When else will I be able to swear in as president our mayors, our congressmen, and our officials from Ilocos Norte? So, sinabi ko kay Sandro, dalhin mo silang lahat dito kahit na papano para masabi ko naman na sinumpa ko ang aking anak na naging bagong congressman at lahat ng kasama natin dito sa Ilocos Norte. So, thank you all for coming. Unahin natin. I think we'll wait for your mom. And unahin na natin the mayor siguro, and all of those who will swear. Please stand up.
May we invite the newly elected officials of Ilocos Sur and Ilocos Norte to please stand.
They're all the same. Okay. All right. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been elected to the position do hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties of my present position and all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines. That I will support and defend, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines. And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and congratulations to the newly elected officials of Ilocos Norte. At this juncture, we shall now proceed to the oath-taking ceremony of 1st District, Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative Ferdinand Alexander Marcos. May we also invite the members of the first family to kindly proceed in front to witness the oath-taking ceremony.
May kiss pa sa First Lady. Stand behind someone.
Don't cry.
I,
I, Ferdinand Alexander Araneta Marcos,
having been elected
having been elected
to the position of
to the position of Representative of the 1st District of the Province of Ilocos Norte,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability
the duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position,
and of all others I may hereafter hold
and of all others I may hereafter hold
under the Republic of the Philippines.
under the Republic of the Philippines.
That I will support and defend
That I will support and defend
the Constitution of the Philippines.
the Constitution of the Philippines.
That I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
That I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities
of the Republic of the Philippines.
of the Republic of the
And
Philippines.
that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and congratulations to the newly elected 1st District Representative of Ilocos Norte. We now proceed to the photo-taking opportunity. May we invite the President and the members of the First Family for a photo-taking opportunity. Please face the cameras. Thank you, Mr. President. May we invite all the elected officials to join the President in front for a group photo. First batch would be the mayors of the 1st District. Next batch would be the mayors of the 2nd District. Kindly prepare. Thank you very much. Please exit to your right. Next batch would be the vice mayors of the 1st District. very much. Next would be the 2nd District Mayors, please. Thank you very much. May we request the 2nd District Vice Mayors to kindly proceed in front, please. Thank you very much. May we call on the provincial board members to kindly proceed in front. Thank you very much, Mr. President. That concludes our oath-taking ceremony. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Philippines, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Tumasang sarsa ng bayan, tida sa bawat handaan, ang daming nababagayan. Mang Tomas plus, plus, plus. Kumain na tayo kasi gutom na ako.
Mga pinunod kawal, baba, ta, handa, dala, kalis, baba. Mahal na Pangulo, handa na po ang tanod panakal upang libutin. Tanghal. Ta! Kalapunan. Tanghal. Ta! Baba. Ta! Handa. Dala. Kalis. Baba. Ta! Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang parangal.
Salamat po sa tropa. Thank you for the honor. And I will remember it today.
Mga kasama, pinapabot ng ating mahal na Pangulo, Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang kanyang taos-pusong pasasalamat sa parangal na ating iginawad sa kanya sa umagang ito. Baba, kalis.
economic zones located
head of the Agriculture Department. I
So,
His Excellency David Hurley, Governor General of Australia, and First Lady Linda Hurley, Their Excellencies, Special Envoys, and Heads of Delegations, His Excellency, Most Reverend Charles John Brown, and the esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps, Vice President Sara Duterte, President Fidel Ramos, President Joseph Ejercito Estrada, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Senate President Vicente Soto III, and the honorable members of the Philippine Senate, House Speaker Lord Alan J. Velasco, and the honorable members of the House of Representatives, Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo, and the honorable justices of the Supreme Court, of course, First Lady Lisa Araneta, and my children, Alexander, Sandro, Simon, and Vincent. I cannot proceed without a special greeting, of course, to the former First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, ang aking minamahal na mga kababayan, magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. This is a historic moment for us all. I feel it deep within me. You, the people, have spoken, and it is resounding. When my call for unity started to resonate with you, it did so because it echoed your yearnings, mirrored your sentiments, and expressed your hopes for family, for country, and for a better future. That is why it reverberated and amplified as it did, to deliver the biggest electoral mandate in the history of Philippine democracy. By your vote, you rejected the politics of division. I offended none of my rivals in this campaign. I listened instead to what they were saying. And I saw little incompatibility with my own ideas about jobs, fair wages, personal safety, and national strength, and ending want in a land of plenty. I believe that if we but focus on the work at hand and the work that will come to hand, we will go very far under my watch. You believe that too. At pinakinggan ko ang tinig ninyo na ang sinisigaw ay pagkakaisa, pagkakaisa, pagkakaisa. We will go farther together than against each other, pushing forward, not pulling each other back, out of fear, out of a misplaced sense of weakness. But we are the furthest from weak. The Filipino diaspora flourishes even in the most inhospitable climes, where they are valued for their quality. The changes we seek will benefit all and will shortchange no one. I was not the instrument of change. You were that. You made it happen. I am now. You picked me to be your servant, to enable changes to benefit all. I fully understand the gravity of the responsibility that you've put on my shoulders. I do not take it lightly, but I am ready for the task. I will need your help. I want to rely on it. But rest assured, I do not predicate success on the wide cooperation that's needed. I will get it done. I once knew a man who saw what little had been achieved since independence in a land of people with the greatest potential for achievement, and yet they were poor. But he got it done, sometimes with the needed support, sometimes without. So will it be with his son. You will get no excuses from me. I am here not to talk about the past. I am here to tell you about our future. A future of sufficiency, even plenty, of readily available ways and means to get done what needs doing, by you, by me. We do not look back, but ahead, up the road that we must take to a place better than the one we lost in the pandemic. Gains made and lost, opportunities missed, well-laid plans superseded by the pandemic. Indeed, ours was the fastest growing economy.
Damay-damay, hawa-hawa, araw-araw i-up ang saya.
Sama-sama, tulong-tulong lahat kalapasan, tropang malakasan.
I get my inspiration sa body talk ng tropa.
If I need some motivation, sa video call andyan sila.
Magsasal ng dance, kailangan sa Facebook kukulitan. Ang hassle kayang kaya nasa saya.
Hatakan, tulungan mo lang, iwanan, forever tayong magdadamaya. Ang inspirasyon ay uma-over.
Anumang struggle, sa'yo will take over. Tropang malakasan, i-up ang saya. Tropang panalo ito, do mo na. Tropang malakasan, i-up ang saya. Tropang malakasan, join us sa saya.
In ASEAN by ways now outdated. We shall be again by a radical change in the way the world must now work to recover what we have lost in that fire and move on from there. We face prospects of the spread of the war abroad, of which we are totally blameless. We seek friendship with all. But countries like ours will bear the brunt of it. And if the great powers draw the wrong lessons from the ongoing tragedy in Ukraine, the same dark prospect of conflict will spread to our part of the world. Yet, there is more out there. Like going forward by new ways of doing that the pandemic forces to adopt, a stronger resilience, quicker adaptability. They are our best prevention. They are our best protection. Quiet reflection in a rough and tumble campaign of a breadth and intensity never experienced revealed some of them, such as the willingness to listen despite the noise, the hesitation to quarrel over differences, and to never, ever give up hope of reconciliation. These gave me the peace to ponder deeper. There are hints of a road not taken that could get us out of here quicker to something better, something less fragile. There is also what you, the people, did to cope. but this time empowered by new techniques and more resources. You got by, getting some of what you needed with a massive government help. And for this, I thank my predecessor for the courage of his hard decisions. But there is a way to put more means and choices in your hands. I trust the Filipino. Imagine how much more you'd achieve if government backstops instead of dictating your decisions. Always there to pick you up when you fall, giving what you need to get past a problem. Imagine if it invested in your self-empowerment to bring it closer to taking on whatever challenges come. Imagine a country that, in almost every sense, is you. Now imagine what you and government can achieve together. We did it in the pandemic. We will do it again. But again, I will not predicate my promise to you on your cooperation. You have your own lives to live, your work to do, and there too I will help. Government will get as much done alone without requiring more from you. That is what government and public officials are for. No excuses, just deliver. It was like that once upon a time. I did not talk much in this campaign. I did not bother to think of rebutting my rivals. Instead, I searched for promising approaches better than the usual solutions. I listened to you. I did not lecture you who has the biggest stake in our success. And the forthcoming State of the Nation will tell you exactly how we shall get this done. In this fresh chapter of our history, I extend my hand to all Filipinos. Come, let us put our shoulders to the wheel and give that wheel a faster turn to repair and to rebuild and to address challenges in new ways, to provide what all Filipinos need, to be all that we can. We are here to repair a house divided, to make it whole, and to stand strong again in the bayanihan way, expressive of our nature as Filipinos. We shall seek, not scorn dialogue, listen respectfully to contrary views, be open to suggestions coming from hard thinking and unsparing judgment, but always from us Filipinos. We can trust no one else when it comes to what is best for us. Past history has often proven that. Solutions from outside divided us. None deepened our understanding. They were always at our expense. Never forget, we are Filipinos. One nation, one republic, indivisible. We resisted and never failed to defeat foreign attempts to break up our country in my father's watch. His strongest critics have conceded that. So let us all be part of the solution that we choose. In that lies the power to get it done. Always be open to differing views, but ever united in our chosen goal. Never hesitating to change it, should it prove wanting. That is how agile, resilient republics are made. Our future we decide today. Yesterday cannot make that decision anymore, nor can tomorrow delay it. The sooner we start, the surer and quicker the prospect of achieving our future. These are troubling times.
New Gatorade No Sugar. Move your everyday.
What's happening to others can happen to us, but it will not. We see what's happening. We are witness to how it is being stopped, and we have seen the glory that crowns struggle against all odds. Giving up is not an option. We've been through times of bitter division, but united We came through to this when it shall begin again, but better. The campaigns I've run have taken me here where I stand today. I listened to you, and this is what I have heard. We all want peace in our land. You and your children want a good chance at a better life in a safer, more prosperous country. All that is within reach of a hard-working, warm, and giving race. Your dreams are mine. Pangarap nyo ay pangarap ko. How can we make them come true? How can we do it together? But I will take it as far as anyone with the same faith and commitment can, as if it depended entirely on himself. Sa pangarap na maging mapayapa ang ating bansa, ang pangarap nyo ay pangarap ko. Sa pangarap na maging maunlad ang ating bansa, ang pangarap nyo ay pangarap ko. At sa pangarap na maging mas masinang ang kinabukasan natin at ng ating mga anak, ang pangarap nyo ay pangarap ko. We are presently drawing up a comprehensive, all-inclusive plan for economic transformation. We will build back better by doing things in the light of the experiences that we have had, both good and bad. It doesn't matter. No looking back in anger or nostalgia. In the road ahead, the immediate months will be rough, but I will walk that road with you. The pandemic ravaged bigger economies than ours. The virus is not the only thing to blame. What had been well built was torn down. We will build it back better. The role of agriculture cries for the urgent attention that its neglect and misdirection now demands. Food self-sufficiency has been the key promise of every administration. None but one delivered. There were inherent defects in the old ways and in recent ways too. The trade policy of competitive advantage made the case that when it comes to food sufficiency, a country should not produce, but import what other countries make more of and sell cheapest. Then came Ukraine. The most vulnerable when it comes to food are the countries furthest away from the conflict, those bearing no blame for provoking it. Yet they face the biggest risk of starvation. If financial aid is poured into them, though it never is, there is nothing to buy. Food is not just a trade commodity. Without it, people weaken and die. Societies come apart. It is more than a livelihood. It is an existential imperative and a moral one. An agriculture damaged and diminished by unfair competition will have a harder time or will have no prospects at all of recovering. Food sufficiency must get the preferential treatment the richest free trade countries always gave their agricultural sectors. Their policy boils down to don't do as we do. Do what we tell you to. I am giving that policy the most serious thought if it doesn't change or make more allowances for emergencies with long-term effects. There is a parallel problem in our energy supply. Sufficient fossil fuel-free technology for whole economies has yet to be invented. And it is not seriously tried by rich countries. Again, consider the response of the richest countries to the war in Ukraine. But surely, a free world awash with oil can assure supplies. Or we will find a way. We are not far from oil and gas reserves that have already been developed. What we teach in our schools, the materials used must be rethought. I am not talking about history. I'm talking about the basics, the sciences, sharpening theoretical aptitude and imparting vocational skills, such as in the German example. alongside the national language with equal emphasis and facility in a global language, which we had and lost. Let us give OFWs all the advantages we can for them to survive and to thrive. Our teachers from elementary up are heroes fighting ignorance with poor paper weapons. We are condemning the future of our race to menial occupations abroad. Then they are exploited by traffickers. Once we had an education system that prepared coming generations for more and better jobs. There is hope for a comeback. Vice President and soon-to-be Secretary of Education, Sara Duterte Carpio, will fit that mission to a T. We won't be caught unprepared, under-equipped, and understaffed to fight the next pandemic. To start with, we never got over the pandemic of poor, if any, free public health. The last major upgrade of a public health system, exemplified by the resources poured into PGH, predates the current shambles by 3 generations. Our nurses are the best in the world. They acquitted themselves with the highest distinction abroad, having suffered even the highest casualties. With the same exemplary dedication at home, they just got by. They are out there because we cannot pay them for the same risk and workload that we have back here. There will be changes starting tomorrow. I am confident because I have an OPLEC in my cabinet. There were shortcomings in the COVID response. We will fix them out in the open. No more secrets in public health. Remember, I speak from experience. I was among the first to get COVID. It was not a walk in the park. My father built more and better roads, produced more rice than all administrations before his. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte built more and better than all the administrations succeeding my father's. Much has been built, and so well, that the economic dogma of dispersing industry to develop the least likely places has been upturned. Development was brought to them. Investors are now setting up industries along the promising routes built. And yet, the potential of this country is not exhausted. Following these giant steps, we will continue to build. I will complete on schedule the projects that have been started. I'm not interested in taking credit. I want to build on success that's already happening. We will be presenting the public with a comprehensive infrastructure plan. 6 years could be just about enough time. No part of our country will be neglected. Progress will be made wherever there are Filipinos, so no investment is wasted. The recovery of Philippine tourism with its emphasis on accessing nature's beauty, I am sure will exceed expectations. And bigger is not always better, but there's something to be said for economies of scale. And yet the country invites investments in fast rising industries with quick returns and inflicts irreparable damage for future generations. We have yet to see large-scale practical solutions to pollution, though some are beginning to emerge. But there are tried and proven new ways of mitigation. Blades have been turning over the sand dunes of Ilocos Norte, harnessing a power all around, but unseen, long before this day. I built them. The rich world talks a great deal, but does a lot less about it than those with much less, but who suffer more death and destruction from climate change and lack of adaptation. We will look to our partners and friends to help the Philippines, who, despite having a very small carbon footprint, is at the highest risk. First, spare victims than help them recover, and move on to lessen the harmful impact of climate change. We too have our part to play. We are the third biggest plastics polluter in the world, but we won't shirk from that responsibility. We will clean up. You will not be disappointed, so do not be afraid. With every difficult decision that I must make, I will keep foremost in my heart and in my mind the debt of gratitude I owe you for the honor and responsibility that you have conferred on me. Whatever is in a person to make changes for the better of others, I lay before you now in my commitment. I will try to spare you. You have your other responsibilities to carry. But I will not spare myself from shedding the last bead of sweat or giving the last ounce of courage and sacrifice. And if you ask me why I am so confident of the future, I will answer you simply that I have 110 million reasons to start with. Such is my faith in the Filipino. Believe, have hope. The sun also rises like it did today and as it will tomorrow. And as surely as that, we will achieve the country all Filipinos deserve. God bless the Philippines. God bless our work. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Magandang tanghali po.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Cross over now to the National Museum, and we're joined by our chief correspondent and anchor, Pia Ontiveros. Pia, what's taking place right now in where you are at the National Museum?
Well, for the moment, what's going to happen is that all eyes are going to turn from the National Museum here, to Malacanang Palace, where President-elect Bongbong Marcos is expected to pay a visit on the incumbent president, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. We all know that President Duterte has opted not to come here to the National Museum, the venue for the inaugural of the 17th President, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. But since it is tradition that the President-elect goes to Malacanang before he goes to the inaugural venue, that is what is going to happen. So all eyes now are on Malacanang as we await the first pictures this morning of Bongbong Marcos as President-elect. Now, there are two main characters, if you will, in this narrative for the day. The President-elect, like we said, who will become President at exactly high noon, and the place that will become his official residence and office, Malacanang. We know that Malacanang could be spelled in two ways, one with a G, the other without a G. Spelled with a G, Malacanang, Manolo Quezon explaining the office of the President of the Philippines. It is a term that officially dates to the Magsaysay administration. And the other way to spell Malacanang is without the G, and Malacanang Palace, to attach the word palace to it, which is the traditional spelling and refers to the historic structure and the official residence of the President of the Philippines. And BBM President-elect Bongbong Marcos has just arrived in Malacanang. And we talk about Malacanang because there is no ritual of inauguration that is as steeped in history and legend and so very symbolic as the very first time a new president ascends the staircase in what is known as the ceremonial procession of Malacanang. But that is not what is going to happen now, because what's going to happen first is that President Duterte is going to be descending that same staircase, and this is going to symbolize the transfer of power from one president to another. And this is affirmed through these stairs. Now, while they're doing a little bit of small talk here, President-elect Marcos, accompanied by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, will be descending the staircase, and that's about to happen just now. Of course, all the staffers, those surrounding both President-elect Marcos and President Duterte are with them now, going to see the descent through that staircase. Now, on his successor's inaugural, the day his successor is inaugurated, the president will descend that stairs of the palace, accompanied by the president-elect, thus marking the formal act of leaving office for the incumbent. The president-elect will then symbolically mark the start of his presidency by climbing the same stairs later in the day, but that's going to happen later on after the inaugural. We are a little bit behind schedule, but things have a way of catching up. This is a ceremonial signing of the guest book, and this is actually the fourth time for BBM to be in Malacanang. This time, of course, as president-elect first. Now, we've heard plenty about the inaugural venue. We've heard plenty about Malacanang. So let's talk about other things. The constitutional title of the chief executive is President of the Philippines. It is incorrect, as Manolo Quezon says, to refer to him or her as President of the Republic of the Philippines. And there, BBM showing his signature for this date, June 30, 2022. In under an hour and a half, he will become the 17th president. The title of President of the Republic of the Philippines, that was only used in the 1943 and 1973 constitutions. Now, we like to talk about the first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So let's do a bit of a rundown here. So BBM, or President-elect Marcos, will be, as we know, the 17th president. He will be the first elected president who is a junior. He is the third child of a former president to become president in his own right. The first was Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, daughter of Diosdado Macapagal, who was president from 1961 to 1965. The second was Noynoy Aquino, son of Cory Aquino, who was president from 1986 to 1992. Marcos Jr. is the 11th senator to become president. The 11th to have served as congressman. He was congressman of Ilocos Norte, the second president from that home province of his, Ilocos Norte. He is the 11th to have been proclaimed president-elect by the legislature. Marcos Jr. is also the 7th president of the Fifth Republic. The Fifth Republic came into being when the 1987 Freedom Constitution was ratified. BBM will be the 12th president to be inaugurated in the city of Manila, the first to be inaugurated in front of what is now known as the National Museum. Although, if we're counting the three other presidents, Quezon, Laurel, and Rojas, who were inaugurated here when it was still a legislative building, that will make BBM the 4th president to be inaugurated here. Marcos Jr., Bongbong Marcos, is the 8th president to be elected single 6-year term. Now, this provision expressly placed in the 1987 Constitution precisely to guard against another dictatorship. And of course, the young Marcos will be the 8th president to take his office on June 30th. And that date, June 30th, 2022, at high noon, he becomes the 17th president of the Republic of the Philippines. Right now, still a little bit of small talk between the incumbent and his soon-to-be successor. We expect this to wrap up in about 5 to 10 minutes. Well, President Duterte himself, as we all know, as we all remember from our experience of him in the last 6 years, he's never really on schedule. So this might take a bit. But it's easy for the organizers to make sure that the schedule catches up with what has been announced. Earlier also, you saw the Executive Secretary of President Duterte there. And also the incoming Executive Secretary, Vic Rodriguez of BBM, of President-elect Marcos. We're waiting to see that moment when President Duterte will accompany President-elect Marcos down and descend that staircase, because that will mean, as I said earlier, the symbolic transfer of power from one president to the next. It is now 10:33 in the morning, and as we all know, at high noon, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. will be sworn in as the 17th President of the Philippines. He will take his oath here in front on the steps of the National Museum, which used to serve as the legislature in the past. This was also the very same site where his father, Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr., was embarrassed by students who had protested here. That very first riot was the spark for what is now called the first quarter storm. So yes, there is so much, plenty of history that's going on here. Add to that the fact that people who worked so hard to depose his father back in 1986 can't quite believe that he is president, or he will become president by high noon, but he will become president by high noon. He did get 31 million votes back in the May 9, 2022 elections. I'm sorry, Rico, if my voice is a little bit high. The music here is so loud. The speakers are in full volume. But it's a beautiful piece of music that's playing. But there's a lot of anticipation in the air. Quite a number of supporters clad in red, the traditional Marcos red, are here just across from the National Museum steps, and you can see the National Museum decorated with bundings that represent the Philippine flag, the red, the blue, and the white. Of course, many have said that a possible venue could have been the Carino Grandstand, but we all know that there are COVID facilities in that area, and this was the place that was chosen. They didn't say it, but it looks like there was that wish that we could evoke what U.S. President's inaugural looks like. The U.S. President's inaugural happens on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. This, in a way, looks like that. So that handshake between President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and President-elect Bongbong Marcos just moments ago, and they are walking now towards that staircase, I suppose, so that they can both descend that staircase. Like I said, it is a very symbolic moment because this is what it means to transfer power from one leader to the other. And this is that moment now. They're about to descend the staircase. This is the moment that symbolizes that transfer of power from Rodrigo Roa Duterte to Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Now we all know later on in the day, when the inaugural the rites are finished here at the National Museum, and by then President Bongbong Marcos returns to Malacanang, that he will, on his own, ascend the staircase in what is now known traditionally as the ceremonial procession of Malacanang. In the past, there have been or incumbents who have accompanied their successors to their inaugural rites. But in this case, we have been told that President Duterte has opted not to go along with BBM or President-elect Marcos. What you're going to see right now first are the departure honors for President Duterte. These are very important because this is the very last time that he will be accorded departure honors as an incumbent president. There's a 21-gun salute, the 4 ruffles and flourishes, and a salute from the honor guard, and a trooping of the line.
Talpunan, mga pinuno at kawal, tanghal. Tak. This is his last day in office. Under an hour from now, he will no longer be president. He will be stepping down as the 16th president and turning over power to Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. What's going on are departure honors. Let me explain. There will be a 21-gun salute, 21 volleys of fire from howitzers. The 21-gun salute is only for a president, an ex-president, a sovereign or head of state of a foreign government. Next, the honor guard presenting arms. In the olden days, firearms are presented for inspection, and we will hear the 4 ruffles and flourishes. The ruffles are the drum rolls, and the flourishes are the trumpet blasts. The national anthem will play. The president will troop the line. He marches in front of the troops and receives the salute of the honor guard. Now, for President Duterte's departure honors, he will bid farewell to the major service commanders and the armed forces leadership. If I'm not mistaken, President Duterte is being accompanied by the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Andres Centino. He has 4 stars on his shoulders. There is only one 4-star general in the armed forces, and that is General Andres Centino. This is the last trooping of the line that President Duterte is performing, and this will be his last departure honors that are accorded to an outgoing president. Kasagunan. Tanghal. Tak.
Now receiving the salute of the honor guard and these departure honors accorded to him in Malacanang Palace is one of the last official acts of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Today, inaugural day for Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. is not just about him, but about the outgoing president as well. Forget that the last time Bongbong Marcos was in Malacanang for an inaugural was on the day his own father took an oath of office to be president on that fateful day in February 1986. Hours later, they were flown out of the country. And that final handshake between the incumbent President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and President-elect Bongbong Marcos. Earlier, like we said, usually the incumbent president will accompany the president-elect to the inaugural venue. But you can see the young Marcos dabbing his eyes a bit. We're not sure if that's because of the heat of the sun. Medyo mainit ngayon at medyo lahat ng mga nasa labas ay pinagpapawisan. Cabinet secretaries of Rodrigo Roa Duterte bidding him goodbye. So, all right, a while ago I was saying that BBM was kasi mata niya, hindi ko alam kung nainitan or medyo napapaluhan na siya at that moment. I mean, you know, for anyone who would become president, how could you not become emotional when the weight of the world will be on your shoulders in so many ways, in so many senses? The weight of the world and the weight of history. There's so much that has been said about him and his family. Expectations are sky high, not just high, but very, very sky high. And there's a lot of criticism still of him, in spite of the fact that he did get 31 million votes in the past election. Ang dami pa rin sinasabi tungkol sa kanya. I remember on May 25, the night of May 25, when he was proclaimed by that joint session of Congress, and he spoke to some of us in the media in the behind the rostrum at the Batasan Pambansa. He said, please pray for me, please wish me well. I want to do well. If a president does well, then the country does well also. And that may be a hint of what he could say in his inaugural address. We're not sure. But there, BBM also saying hello, greeting staffers of Malacanang, members of President Duterte's cabinet. It is now 10:47 in the morning. Still a little bit of time. Alam mo naman dito sa Pilipinas, there's always time for a little chit-chat. President-elect Marcos getting some reminders, if I'm not mistaken, from his protocol officer about where to go and what to do. You know, there are things that you need to do and things you need to say and certain movements that you need to make. And this is it. The second final handshake between President Duterte and President-elect Bongbong Marcos. It looks like President Duterte is about to board one of his vehicles. We're not sure, or if that is the vehicle for President-elect Marcos. All right, it is President Duterte who is boarding that vehicle. So mauna pa siyang umalis ng Malacanang. Earlier, AC Nichols was saying that they heard that he was going to be flown home first to Davao City. We're not sure. But what's going to happen now is that now that President Duterte has made his exit, now all eyes really are on Bongbong Marcos, who is, as of 10:50 this morning, 10:48 this morning, still president-elect. But in an hour and 12 minutes, he will become President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. President Duterte and his convoy pulling out of Malacanang for the last time. What you just witnessed were departure honors and that visit, courtesy call, if you will, from the president-elect. And now we're expecting President-elect Marcos to leave Malacanang as well. Well-wishers just outside Malacanang's gates to say goodbye to President Duterte as he exits Malacanang for the last time as the incumbent president. And now President-elect Marcos is going to be making his own exit from Malacanang. It's about a 5 to 10 minute ride from there, from Malacanang Palace to here at the National Museum. It is 10 minutes before the hour of 11 in the morning, 1 hour and 10 minutes before Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos becomes the 17th president of the Philippines. His constitutional title, I just said it, President of the Philippines. It is incorrect to refer to him or her as President of the Republic of the Philippines. As it was used, that term was used only in the 1943 and 1973 Constitution. BBM or Bongbong Marcos will be, as we know, the 17th president. He will be the first elected president who is a junior. He is the third child of a former president to become president in his own right. The first, Gloria Arroyo. The second was Roy Aquino. Let's turn it over back first.
Pia, thank you so much for that update and for annotating the departure of the incoming President Bongbong Marcos from the Presidential Palace. He is currently on his way to the National Museum for his oath-taking ceremony.
Friends who evolve together and fall for the future. That's friendship in a game well played. Get Go Plus 99 and go play with Glow Prepaid.
Pabatid kung gaano kaganda ang ating musika at kung gaano nila kamahal ang ating Pangulo. Sabay-sabay nating tawagin sa entablado sa pamamagitan ng ating palakpakan ang
bahagi ito ng kasaysayan.
mahal na Pangulo at na po ang tanong pandaral upang lipunin. Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang parangal. Mga kasama, pinapabot ng ating mahal na Pangulo, Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang kanyang taos-pusong pasasalamat sa parangal na ating iginawad sa kanya sa umagang ito. Baba, alis.
like to invite all our guests to please take your seats. like to invite our guests to take your seats and settle down. We would like to invite all our guests to take your seats and settle down. Thank you.